Welcome back. All right, so same video for you guys, new night for me, and we're back out here. I'm going to attempt to work on the fans again. Now, I have a cricket in here in case you can't hear it, and it's really annoying. But apparently when I had the doors open last, cricket decided to move in, and hopefully he wants to pay some rent. Anyways, we're going to have to deal with it for the video because I've tried for about 20 minutes now to find it, and yeah, I can't. So, we're back out here for another night to work on the fans, and I went and had our good buddies over at Dynamic make me these brackets. So what it is I got two holes in here that's going to screw up into those blue beams right there, and then I made it come out 14 inches where I'm going to hang the actual mounting plate for the fan on and put the box and all that other junk for the electricity. Now, I don't know exactly how high I need to mount that because the fan isn't mounted to it, and because my man lift decided to kill itself. Yeah, I got to do it all on a ladder. So, a little bit of guessing work going to go on tonight, try and get some stuff mounted and figured out, and yeah, we'll see how far we can get. Now, I do have a mess in here from what would have been last night for me, but 2 nights ago for you. Anyways, from the last video, I got a little mess in here, so we got to start cleaning that up before we can move on because, yeah, working in a mess sucks. So, let's cue the time lapse because nobody really wants to watch me clean up in real time, do they? Didn't think so. Anywho, let's get at her. All right, so that didn't take too long. We got everything cleaned up now. And now we have to do one more thing before I can jump back onto that fan project. I'd like to thank tonight's video sponsor, Comet Machine. Comet Machine is somebody that we use a lot, and they're a little machine shop that, you know, they have lathe mill and flywheel resurfacers, all that kind of stuff, and that's what we use them a lot for. They do a lot of flywheel work for us, or for people that we know or friends or whatever. You know, I send everybody over there. So if you're in the area and you're looking for some machining, or you got a new clutch and you want to machine your flywheel, Comet Machine is where you want to send them. Now, we have a banner that we need to put up for Comet. 52 RPM here and 52 graphics there. They're the guys who do a lot of the shirts, hats, all that kind of stuff for us. So that's why they're front and center. And I'd like to do the same for Comet. So what I think I'm going to do is put the Comet banner between the 52. That way you guys see it, and hopefully you send some business that way. So without further ado, let's throw the ladder up since the man lift's still broken. And yeah, let's get up another banner because, as you can see, we kind of love them around here. Last thing I want to say before we go back to a time lapse of doing that is let's do another giveaway. So that big banner right there, guess the size and the width, and yeah, closest guess wins a t-shirt. Anywho, throw it in the comments below and we'll go from there. Let's get to it. All right, so that was long and drawn out. I moved this black banner here just over a little bit. My original plan was to put it up in this cavity here. And yeah, apparently I don't know how to measure tonight and it doesn't fit. So, can't do that. So what I did was I posted the banner right here, right above the toolboxes. So, it's right about, you know, eye height, and hopefully it'll be in a whole bunch of videos and you guys will decide to take your stuff over to Comet and get it done. If you do, make sure to tell them that we sent you from the channel here. And there you go. So that's one project done tonight. Took a little while longer, going up and down and trying to move it and figuring out what I could do and whatever. So we are way behind, but hey, what's new, right? All right, so what we're gonna do is mount the fan box on that bracket that Dynamic cut for us, and hopefully mount it way up there. So let's go back to a time lapse because I kind of think they're fun now. Anywho. So what do you think happened when I went all the way up the ladder with this here fan that I put one blade on just to try and spin it around to see if it hit coming down this way off the peak and down that way? You're right. It's pretty close and a little closer than I want to try and tackle. So now what I have to do is, let me put this thing down, is I'm going to take that 12-inch span or so where we mounted that box. I'm going to try and jog it down another 2 inches or something so I can bolt this thing up to the beam, then it'll come out, jog down, come over, and hopefully buy me another 2 or 3 inches. So that's the plan, and yeah, of course this would happen. Anywho, let's do it. All right, so I think that's where I'm gonna call it a night. I'm gonna take those two brackets back over to Dynamic and get them to snap them in the press brake, just 90 and 90. It'll be a lot faster and it'll look a lot better when we're done, rather than me putting it in a vise and beating the junk out of it to get it to bend. So that's where I'm gonna call this video, but I did promise in the last video we'd go over this new project that's in here. So let's take a couple minutes, go over it, and kind of explain where we're at and why it's here. All right, so as you can see, this is a Fox body Mustang, and there's been some good money spent on this thing. It's got bare brakes, front and rear, and it's mini tubbed. This thing is mini tub to the max. If we look under the back end here, it's got a 315 under it, nice fuel cell. So the car's had a lot of work. It's 4-linked in the rear with double adjustable coilovers. Up here in the engine bay, it's a 347. Let me spin you around and take a peek at that. So it's a 347 stroker with a Vortec T-trim on it, making 12 pounds of boost. So the reason this car is here is this poor guy has had this thing at a multitude of different shops in the area. The first one did the 4-link in the mini tub, and from what I hear, I haven't been under it to look yet, but the shocks are mounted incorrectly. One's real high, one's real low, brackets are kind of weird. So first things first, we're gonna look at that kind of stuff. So now we look up here in the engine bay. So someone at some point had gone and done a tubular K-frame in the front of this thing. Well, if you know anything about coilovers, this spring perch shouldn't be up here on the top, let alone these sketchy bolts. And yeah, from what I'm told, the shop didn't understand how to assemble a set of coilovers, and they didn't understand where those perches went to set the coil on the shock itself. So the front end is just kind of sitting wherever it's going to be. That's why it's so low here. The fenders do actually rub the tire, so I'm trying not to move it very much as I don't want to destroy it. Now, client wanted the engine bay wiring harness tucked. So someone in the past went through and tucked all the wiring in here in the wiper cowl. I don't like to do that, as you can't run wipers anymore because all that linkage in there will just kind of kill all the wiring. And two, you still get water that goes down into that, and I don't want it to go in and soak around the wiring that I have. So I'm going to move all of that wiring down here under the dashboard. So this thing's already been hollowed out in the back, and yeah, there's a ton of room doing nothing there. That's perfectly dry, out of the heat, out of all the elements. It just kind of makes sense to me. Now, this poor car hasn't been started in about 10 years. So what I'm planning to do first is go through, I'll take you guys along, and we're gonna see if the motor's any good, or, you know, if we gotta start pulling that apart, just to kind of let us know what we have and where we're at. So my plan is to take this car and kind of do a different style vlog series. So with the way the world is right now, nobody really knowing if they're gonna have a job today, tomorrow, the next day, I thought it might be a good idea to look at what we have in this car and how to try and buy something that's in this current shape. So I'll give you a couple clues on what I do when I go look at stuff to try and buy, to flip, to keep, whatever, if I think it's a good buy, and how to come up with an offer that makes sense. So I think that's gonna be, you know, maybe not the next video, because I really want to finish these fans. As you can see, I'm sweating, it's really hot in here. It'd be great to get these fans going, and then I'd like to start on this thing in that fashion. I'd like to get everything emptied out of it, again, all on video with you guys, so that you can see what we have, what's in there, what's not, and we can come up with a we have list, what we don't have, a wish list, and maybe try and tack some prices beside each thing so that you can figure out if buying a car in this kind of shape, one, is a good buy, two, if it works for you, and three, if you can actually get it back together and make it run or make some money off of it. Anyways, all that said, really appreciate you guys following along up to this point. So easy as that. Now you guys know about this black car, why it's here, and I'm about to call it a night. It's 12:30 again. It's a couple little things that I want to do that make no sense to be in a video, so I'm going to do those before I head in. But that's where we're going to wrap it up tonight. Hopefully you guys are enjoying this new style video where I do, you know, a little bit of this project, a little bit of this one, so on and so on. That's a lot easier for me to try and, you know, be honest and real, instead of trying to do a start project and finish the project in the same video, as sometimes that takes a week or multiple weeks to get done, as you guys well know if you're building something. Anyways, appreciate you guys getting all the way through it. Like to shout out to the sponsors: Comet Machine, 52, Phase 2 Motortrend, Tough Duck, Dynamic Laser. I couldn't be doing these videos without you guys, and also you as the audience following along. Make sure that you try to comment below on what size this banner is, and hey, you might win yourself a shirt. What's it take? Couple seconds? Anyways, make sure to have a great night and do stuff.